emotionally, men cheat physically. Posting provocative photos of yourself is obviously for attention driven by emotion. With that being said, how often do women cheat? Yeah, if we consider women accepting attention from other men cheating, how often do women cheat?
All the time. Daily. Most women, a lot of women. So I agree with that statement. It's true. Women love attention. This is what I'm saying. I can't stand women that just thrive off attention all the time. Like, it just does something to attention these days is like crack. Like, I've seen some women do the maddest things for attention. I'm just thinking, what is it about attention?
Like what?
Clout is a hell of a drug, fam.
No, tell me what. What have
I've just seen I've seen friends, missuses, like, they just want to go out so bad, but they've not got money, so then they're stealing stuff out the drawers to try and sell it so they can get money to go out, and they just post, like, they're just the stuff they post and the things they do, and I just think, why are you so addicted? You do anything you can to go out just so you can get attention from men, try and dress. The women are wearing less and less and less and less because they want attention. Yeah. So, like, someone will wear something and like, oh, she's getting attention, let me take off even more clothes. And it's not even the good attention, because these men would, let me tell you something, women, just so you can get it into your head, you will get a lot of attention off men if you dress like us, because we see you like that. So we might sleep with you, but we're not going to marry you. Yeah. Get this into your head. They don't understand it. They think, yeah, well, these men want me. Yeah, they do. But are they going to marry you? Does any man look at a woman, yeah, half naked and think, oh, I bet she's going to be a good woman. Like, you want to marry someone. You want to marry someone that if your daughter wants to be like, if you want happy for your daughter to be like them, then you know, why would I want my daughter to dress like that? So if you dress like that,
I want to add on to that, and I think it's because, and Pearl, I want you to add if you think I'm wrong or right, but I think it's because a lot of these girls, they were never really loved by their dad. Because when you have that love from your father at a young age, you feel so secure in yourself that you don't need to like post half naked photos on Instagram. Because all the girls that I know came from like well-adjusted households, which are very rare, well-adjusted households where they respect their father. Their father was always there. Because remember, a woman's first masculine love in her life is her father. And if that love is tainted, you know, so is she.
So true.
And I think right now, when you have women initiating 78% of all divorces in America, kicking the father out, and does the wife sit around and be like, you know what? Your dad was so great, but I had to kick him out. She's like, no, your dad was an asshole. Your dad abandoned you. And she, from a young age, is being trauma dumped on by her mother. And then she has this negative outlook about males for the rest of her life, which leads her to be this insufferable cat lady that Kevin Samuels was dunking on. You know what I mean? And that's the thing. Right now, when you have all these modern women who hate modern men, who are the majority of modern men being raised by, men or women? When the majority of households are single mother households.
It's true.
Right? Mm-hmm. You know? Do you disagree that like a woman, because you know you love your dad and everything, do you feel like you still need to go out there and get attention and take off your clothes and all that?
No, I don't like wearing crazy stuff. But no, I mean, I just think I think a lot of children have not really been raised by either of their parents, because even if they have a mother in the house, she is working. And daycare and the state spends more time with children than the parents do. The average parent spends 30 minutes a day. How often does the kid spend on their phone? How often does the kid at school? So the school and TikTok is having more influence on your kid than you are. So now we have all these children that are being raised by the culture and not the family.
So true.
That is very true.
Yeah, and that's what they want and then if you really want to get into it, the Rockefellers wanted that from the get-go.
I know you're going to say that. So true, but I agree. I know you're going to say they do these things and promote it to make break up the families, because then they can raise the kids to be to the slaves that they need them to be. You can't put your worldview on them. Now you're going to teach a kid that you can chop off, you can be a girl and this and that, because the mums are not there, your dads are not there. Now, who's raising the kids? The state's raising the kids, and then they're putting in their filthy, dirty ideology into your children, and you don't have no say over it. Not in my house, but no chance.
And let me add on to this. So, how do I agree with Kit yesterday? Never met that man, and now Ty here. Never met this man before in my life.
We have some based men on the show.
What is? Are we like? We have like a patriarchy conspiracy network that we're all like, hey, bro, you ready to oppress these women, bro? You're ready to like Shame them.
You know what kind of red pilled me? I was reading the writings of women like 150 years ago about marriage and like what they looked for in a husband. And they literally were writing about how like you can't trust your feelings, like that won't be a really fulfilling long-term relationship. And they were like, always listen to your husband. He is the head of the household. Like, they basically said that arguing is the woman's fault because if you tell your if you think of it as an employee-boss relationship, if you tell your employee something and they start arguing with you, that's the employee's fault, not the boss. But I was like, that's not normal. It's always like you got to compromise, but it's not. True. You're not supposed to do that. That's not what
it's like women will listen to the boss.
That's not what a real traditional like marriage is if you look back at it.
The problem is that marriage is it's not fit for purpose in the current state of things in the culture, you know, because the state of the culture now means that marriage as it was is fatally challenged because people just don't want to behave in that way anymore, and it's a real insolvable problem unless either we go back to the 1950s or we try and I don't know, we try and find another way through, but it's very difficult.
I think women these days think that they have a big thing about no one can't tell me what to do. I do it because I want it. But really, if a man's telling you something, if it's your husband, it's only going to tell you for your own good. Now, that doesn't mean you're his slave. It just means you're his wife and you respect him. You think this is the man that I want to lead our family and raise my kids and help me raise my kids. If he tells you something, he's not going to be saying he only has your best interest at heart. And I think like now women are like, you can't tell him. Like, do you know how many of my friends are like, my missus is going to go to Marbella or Ibiza? I says, what?
Yeah.
Well, I can't really say nothing because I said, what? I was with my ex on and off for like 7. She wouldn't even ask. She wouldn't even enter. It wouldn't even enter her head. Your missus shouldn't even want to go to them places. First of all, she wouldn't even ask me. And that's not me being controlling. I just have standards.
You mean going with her girlfriends? You mean?
Yeah, going with her girlfriend. Yeah, going with her friends on a girl's holiday. It would never happen. And it's not even. And it's
haram. Haram is motherfucker.
And they'll twist it like, oh, you're controlling. You can't tell her what to do. Well, like, I don't tell her what to do. If you want to go, go. But I'm not going to be. You're not coming back to my house.
Yeah,
because I've got standards.
We have wives that don't see a problem with that. Like, we have full-grown wives that do not see a problem with going out to the bar with their friends, with going out to the club where they think it's normal.
Yeah, and
I've been crazy thing.
I've been saying this for a while.
Set the standard.
Yeah, I've been saying this for a while now, and it's kind of like it's a little bit of a dark position, but you're having a generation of women who don't know how to lead and maintain and keep a relationship, raising women with those same broken standards. So it's kind of like what the church says, like the generational curse. You know, you have the blind leading the blind at this point. And if there's not a big thing to step in, because if you look at the direct statistics, whatever fancy name you want to put on it, of the single mother household, it is detrimental to society, single mother households. It's not a dig on women, right? But I was raised in a single mother household and I had to do so much work and so much therapy and so much self-development. I paid hundreds of $1,000s in self-development stuff to get to where I am. And I had to have the discipline and desire to go through this stuff and realize like, hey, you're not doing things the way you should be doing them and you need to change. A lot of people don't want to confront themselves. A lot of people don't want to accept the fact that you're incompetent at this time and you need to become more competent. And you're having this situation right now in the West exclusively. And look at the state of the West. You can say all this like all these conservative values or blah, 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 and this and that. But are you happy with the society you're living in? Do you think the society that you're living in right now is trending in the right direction? Do you guys, Western society?
I live in Dubai, so I'm good.
Do you know what's crazy though? What they think is that modern developments and technology is more important than family.
Yeah.
And if you talk to people on the left, they literally think this. They're like, well, we're living longer than ever before. Well, you know, we have a higher, standard of living than ever before, but it's like we have the most broken families that we have ever had.